As you're probably aware, AI has really taken off over the last few years, and there are all kinds of ways that you can use it within your business to make things more efficient. And a lot of the no-code tools, including AppSheet to at least some extent, have started adding in AI capabilities. But unfortunately, what AppSheet has today, while really useful for certain use cases, might not be exactly what you're looking for. One of the first things they added was Start with Gemini, which lets you build a new app based on a description. Really convenient tool. I use it a lot myself. I do wish it was able to create apps that used Google Sheets in addition to just AppSheet DB, which it does right now. But it is really nice, and if necessary, you can go, create your app with AppSheet DB to start with, and then move it over to Google Sheets. So they've got that. They've also got for enterprise users some features for AI tasks like extracting text, categorizing things based on images and text within images and things like that, and also summarizing data. Those are all also really nice tools, but again, they're enterprise features, which can be a little bit expensive depending on how many users you have using your app, what kind of budget you have, etc. But even though it's got those fairly advanced AI capabilities, it's kind of missing just the basic AI capabilities. And these are things like you're probably used to using every day, like being able to go into ChatGPT or Gemini and asking it to write an email to a customer telling them that their order is late and apologizing and including some details specifically for that customer. So you can, of course, just copy information out of AppSheet into ChatGPT or Gemini for that type of thing. Maybe you've got some text saved for a prompt with, saying send an email to a customer, apologize with whatever details I've provided above or something like that. But it is kind of annoying to do that. It is kind of time consuming. And we've all, with other tools, become somewhat accustomed to the tools doing that kind of thing for us, not making us go through the extra work of having to actually go and copy and paste things in, copy and paste a prompt, etc., which, it might take a minute, couple minutes here or there, but that time really adds up. So there are some workarounds currently for doing this type of thing in AppSheet, but that really involves signing up for an account with an API service, like for example, Google AI Studio, and then writing some code in AppScript in order to be able to call out to that API, and then updating your AppSheet app in order to be able to call the AppScript in order to be able to do that. And I actually have a few different videos where I've done that type of thing in the past, and I'll link to them down in the description in case you're curious how to do that. But the problem with this approach is that, first of all, it requires signing up for something else, which may or may not have additional cost. And beyond that, it just all starts to get a little bit technically complex and a little bit outside the no-code, easy-to-use space where AppSheet really lives. So to help with all this, one of the things I've been working on lately is updating my AppSheet Advisor Chrome extension to make this whole process of connecting to AI a lot easier. And it's easier to show you exactly what I'm talking about than to try to describe it here. So let's jump into AppSheet and take a look. All right, for this demo, I'm going to use the AppSheet template for the IT ticketing system. So this one, I'm just going to make a copy of that. And here's our app, still loading for a few seconds here. All right, well, looks like it's almost done. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's nothing in here right now, but basically once you actually create tickets and assign them to a particular technician, within this view, it will show you those tickets. And when tickets are created, the actual business users can go in and say what the symptoms that they're seeing are, describe their problem, etc. And what we want AI to do in this case is to take those descriptions that they actually enter, as well as the symptoms, the two of those things combined together, and actually create the likely resolution for whatever the problem is based on the symptoms that they described. And the purpose of this is so that when the technician comes in and they're looking through their tickets in the morning, they don't have to read through the full details of all those tickets to try to parse out exactly what is being said and what the resolution might be. So they can instead just look through, see this very brief analysis of the problem and what the likely resolution is, and then decide what things they should work on to start their day based on what they actually see there. So we're going to make some minor modifications to this app in order to support that. And then we're going to add in an automation to handle that AI part. All right, the first thing I want to do is just actually add myself as one of the technicians here. So that's in this app underneath Manage Text. And I'm going to create a new one. And I'm just going to say Sandy Boxer. Department is IT. And email is sandy@pliablematter.com. And then next I want to go in, and this template is actually, if you look at the tickets here and you look at the assigned tech, there's a formula in here that's actually determining what the assigned tech is based on the department. We don't want to do that in this case. Again, just for demo purposes, I'm just going to actually select the tech that I want to assign it to, which will be myself when I create a ticket. So I'm going to remove that. And under the description, you see that it's got for the actual display name for the description, says, please thoroughly describe the issue. However, the data type here for the description is text and not long text. And it seems like we would want long text if we were asking for a kind of extended description. And it's also going to help when I'm showing this later on to have a long text type field. So I'm going to change that as well. And as I mentioned, we want to have a new place in here to store the likely resolution that the AI is going to come up with, and what we're going to have the tech actually look at when they're looking at their list of items. So we need to actually add in a new column for that. So for this table, I'm just going to go to my view, my data source. This is my tickets table, and I want to add a new column here to the right. I'm going to call it likely resolution. I'm going to close that and regenerate my structure. And that one is text, and that's fine. One other change we want to make to this is to only show it if we're not on a form. So I don't want to show this likely resolution field to a user who's inputting a ticket, because they're not going to know what the likely resolution is. Again, the AI is going to come up with it. So we want to hide this when we're on a form so it doesn't actually show up. So to do that, I'm going to hit the edit pencil here. Up next to show, I'm going to use the formula by clicking this icon and then this. And I'm going to use the create expression that's part of this extension as well. So if you used the extension before, you might have used this as well, but basically you can just describe what you want and it will create an expression for you in that case. So I'm going to hit create expression. And what I want to say is I only want this to show if the view is not a form. So I'm going to hit create expression for that. It will take a few seconds. All right, so that came back and said if the view type is not equal to form. That's what that means. So I'm going to hit use this expression. It will fill that in for me. I'm going to save that. And now that will no longer show up on the forms. And let's save our app here. And now we are ready to actually add in our automation. So I'm going to go here underneath our bots. And with this template came some various automations for sending notifications. I don't need any of them in this case, so I'm just going to get rid of all those and save. And then I want to create a new automation. And I'm going to call this get likely resolution. And I want this to run when a ticket is either added or updated. So I'm selecting table tickets there and then unchecking deletes because add and updates are what I care about. I'm going to name this ticket added or updated. And down here, I'm going to set a condition because I basically only want this to run when either the description or the symptom changes. I don't want, if somebody makes some other kind of minor modification to the ticket, I don't really need the AI to run in that case because what the AI is running on is basically based on the description and the symptoms. So those are the only times when I really care about it running. So in order to do that, I'm going to click condition. I'm going to hit create expression again to write this expression. And for this one, I want to say only run when the description or symptom is different than before the update. So let's create that. All right, so this came back as an or, meaning if either one of these conditions is true. So if the description after the update, which is this, is different than before the update, which is what this is saying, or if the symptom after the update is different than the symptom before the update. So I'm going to hit use this expression. That one is good. I'm going to hit save on that. Save again. All right, and now we are ready to add our step to actually call out to AI. So I'm going to hit add step here. I'm going to say create new step, and I'm going to name this get likely resolution from AI. And what I want to do here is call a webhook. And now we're getting into the main part of the video and what has been added to the extension. So if I go to my presets here, and again, you need to have the extension installed in order to be able to see this. But if I go to my presets here, there's a new preset down here called Boost AI Text that you can choose. So I'm going to choose that. And then you see down here, further down in that view underneath where the body is that you send in this particular webhook. Again, you don't really need to worry about that in this case because it's handling most of this for you. But you want to click this button called Create AI Prompt. And basically what you want to do here is describe what you want the AI to do. So what I'm saying here is figure out the most likely fix for the issue based on the description the user provided and the symptom that they chose. And I want it to keep it short, like 3 to 5 words, so that the technician can visually scan down the list and understand the work required for this particular ticket that was created. So now I want to hit generate prompt. And now this is basically going to create a prompt to send to the AI with the instructions that we just gave it, and it's going to include the details that we asked for, like the description and the symptom. So this is the prompt that it generated, and you can think of this similar to if you just entered a prompt into ChatGPT or Gemini. You basically just typed and asked it to do something, and you gave it some text. That's equivalent to what we're doing here. And if you as part of that, copied and pasted the symptom name and the description from, AppSheet in and had it do something. That's what it's doing here. It's basically just creating what you would type into ChatGPT manually for you and sending it over and getting the result back. So this is the prompt that it came up with: generate a 3 to 5 word likely resolution for a technical issue. Consider the symptom and the user's description, focus on the core action needed, and then it gives the symptom and the description here, and you can see the parameters down below. It's saying where to actually get that symptom and description from in our record. So let's hit use this prompt. So after I do that, it filled out everything here for me. It's got the body that it needs to pass over and the values that it needs to pass over. And you see it's also enabled a return value down here with the text, AI text. So that's going to basically be the result that comes back. So now we want to just save that value that we're getting back from the AI into that likely resolution column that we added to the tickets table in our sheet. So to do that, I'm just going to hit add step here, create new step. I'm going to say save likely resolution as the name. And I want this to be a data action. And I want to set row values. So that's going to set values on the current row that we're working on as the row that actually triggered this automation to run. And I want to set likely resolution. And I want to click here to select the value that I want. And you see the previous step that ran is right up here. It says get likely resolution from AI. So just what we named it. And then AI text was the return value that we just talked about. So that's what we want to save. I'm just going to hit insert to save that. And now that's inserted that in there. And I can go ahead and save again. That error should go away and we're all set. So this is complete now. It'll now actually go ahead and call out to AI when a ticket is added or updated. So let's actually go ahead and try it. I'm going to go back to my app. I'm going to say new ticket. And I will say John Smith, employee ID 100. And we're going to say that their symptom is that they cannot log in. And I'm going to paste in a description. So as you can see, this is basically a very long description saying that they locked themselves out of their computer. You've probably had that happen to you at some point in the past. You type in your password wrong too many times, it locks you out. So they're going in, I got a meeting at 9:30, this is what's happening. And again, this had asked for a detailed description. So they're giving a detailed description that yesterday it was working, now it's not. They came in, they did this morning, all the steps that they went through, all this stuff. So again, if our technician is just coming through and reading through all their tickets and they have 100 of them and every person that created a ticket gave this level of description, it's going to take them a long time to read all those. But with our 3 to 5 word analysis that the AI is coming up with, it's going to really distill this down to that so they can look through very quickly and see and get an idea how long it's going to take them to actually fix this thing. All right, so everything else is squared away. The only other thing we want to do is select myself as the assigned tech, and I want to click save. And you see that little red 1 up there means that it's actually processing that automation. So you will see when you do something like this and it's calling out to a webhook, it will take a few seconds to do that. But that completed now, and we will actually have our analysis in there. So the next thing I want to do here really quick is just change this view, because right now this is a table. Our analysis actually is in there, but it's kind of got like a lot of data right there. And if we wanted to make this easy for the tech to scan, we'd probably want to simplify this view a little bit. So let's go over here to our views, my tickets, and I'm going to make this a card view instead of a table view. And I'm going to just make it a list of cards, get rid of the icon. And I'm going to set the title to the last name of the person. You'd probably want to make a separate virtual column in this case to show the first and last name, but just to save time for this demo, I'm just going to say last name. And then for the subtitle, I want to say likely resolution. So there it is. That's exactly the value that came from the AI. So it took that big text that I pasted in there, passed it through our prompt that we created as part of our automation, and came up with this reset user password as the likely action that is needed to resolve this issue. And again, if the user was looking at 100 different things that had come in overnight, they'd be able to very quickly go down that list and get an idea of what's required for each one of these things. All right, so I hope that gives you a good idea of how this thing works, and hopefully also gives you some ideas about how you could use this to save some time within your own business. This is just the beginning of a whole bunch of different ideas I have for extending the capabilities of AppSheet using the extension to help you do more. And to reflect that bigger picture of going beyond just helping you build apps and really helping you to do more with AppSheet, I'm renaming the extension to Boost for AppSheet, because that's what I really want it to help you do. Not only help you build the apps, but also extend the capabilities of what you're able to do when you're using AppSheet. If you've already got the extension installed, it should update automatically to version 3 the next time you close your browser and open it up again. So you should see that, and you should see that new Boost logo up in the upper left-hand corner to indicate that you've got that version. And if you don't have it yet, you can download it using the link that I've got down in the description. It is free to use for light users, including all the kind of standard capabilities, including this new AI capability that's in there. And if you need more than what's included in that light version, there are a few different plans available to purchase depending on your situation. Like, for example, I've got a personal use plan, which is for if you're using it, for your own projects or for a single person business. And then I've got a small business version, medium business version, etc. So if this is something that you think could be useful, be sure to check it out. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, feel free to reach out as well. All right, that's all I've got for today. As always, thanks for watching and happy building.